Chelsea.
We're Arsenal forever. We are Arsenal.
Road to Wembley.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes,
We are Arsenal.
can't stop us.
We're Arsenal forever. Tony Adams, Ray Parlour.
Hi, welcome to another episode of GunnerKing Court. Today I have a special guest, Lottie from Cannon Chatter TV. What's going on?
I'm good, King. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Makes a
good.
change for me to be on screen rather in the comments. I've enjoyed
Yeah,
the last two episodes.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought it'd be good to get you on. Get your thoughts on some of the stories that are going around today, and what are your thoughts been on the Euros so far? Just as a quick kind of.
If I'm honest with you, I'm quite impressed with England at the minute. It wasn't a fantastic game, but the point is we beat Croatia. And points are points at this stage. I'd be quite happy to finish second in the group. Rather second, because I don't really fancy the group of death just yet. I know we're going to have to play them at some point, but I'd rather get into the competition a bit more where they've got more to fight for.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is just getting out of the group, whether it's first or second. I just think doesn't really matter so long as we actually get out of the group. That's the main thing that we've got to do, really. So yeah, I think I was impressed with our organized kind of shape, that we had going on, that we stuck to, and that we kept some very good players quiet, but we're going to need to raise it against the better teams, I think, in the tournament. But yeah, all in all, it was an impressive start. But we move on to Arsenal's transfer talk that's been hotting up over the coming days, over the weekend. And I think on the subject of the Euros, and someone that I thought that we've had to watch very closely is Sabitzer. He's been hotly linked with us. Austria's international, and this was before obviously the Euros kicked off. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and he's made it very apparent that he doesn't wish to renew his terms with Leipzig. So he's available for 15 million, which I think is a steal, given what we need in terms of a number 10 player. I think he's got goals in him as well as assists. His assist yesterday was an absolute peach. I mean, it's easy to just look at it and see it as a diagonal pass, but the way he's cut into the ball to create the backspin so the ball would slow down, into the path of the scorer. I think he's a really intelligent player, and he can bring leadership to the team as well. Given his age and his status in the Leipzig team and the Austria team as a more senior and seasoned player as well. What are your thoughts, Lottie?
I haven't seen much of him, if I'm honest with you, but from what I have seen of him over the last two seasons, he's been tearing up the Bundesliga. I mean, I think the only game I've actually seen him in was a Berlin. I can't remember their full name, but in Leipzig, and within that game he got 2 goals, I believe, and 3 assists, and it was just, he's phenomenal. I mean, it is something that we're missing up front, but what does that mean for the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang? Does it mean they move on? I mean, Lacazette's got a year on his contract now. Do we sell or let him go for free?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with Sabitzer, I see it more as an alternative or another option to have on top of Odegaard, as opposed to the striker prop situation. But he's an attacking midfielder that brings a lot of goals to the table. And I think he's got the attributes to be able to replicate that in this league, which is the one question. But I think, for a seasoned professional at 26, approaching or coming into the peak of their power, I think that's a fairly modest fee to be paying, you know, and I think that's definitely something we should look to capitalize on. But guys tuning in, don't forget to please smash the likes and subscribe as well. You know, for all Arsenal related content here on King's Court, but the FTB family, as you will be aware, has shows for all fan bases. So yeah, I think you know, going back to this story, you know, I think it's well received by our fans as well. Just to show a few kind of feeds that were trending, you know, on this story on Twitter, on Patrick Thomas's page. You know, I think he explains everything there pretty well. You know, I mean, we are looking to, you know, we're looking at more affordable options, you know, with proven pedigree. You know, and I think I agree. You know, I can't really think of many players in his position at this stage in our squad that we keep him on our bench. Yeah, no, I'm just excited to see what he goes on to do for the rest of the tournament.
No, definitely, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. I mean, I missed the game, unfortunately, because I was doing something else. But I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him because from what I've seen on the timeline across the socials, every Arsenal fan is buzzing about him.
Yeah, I think he's a good player to be linked with. You know, exactly what we need. Ticks a lot of boxes. You know, affordable. You know, that he's got experience. You know, we can bring a creative edge to our team as well. You know, he can play wide left, wide right, or as a number 10. He's quite versatile as well. And yeah, I just think the youngsters that we've got in that position, in those positions, those attacking positions, your Smith Rowes, your Martinellis, your Sakas, you know, even Pepe, you know, they're all going to learn from playing with him and improve. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's a transfer that definitely excites me. I mean, obviously, in the similar vein, similar position, you know, sort of that creative attacking side of the game, we are being linked again with Philip Coutinho. Rumors are that Barcelona, well, I mean, I don't think it's much of a well-kept secret that Barcelona need to balance the books. You know, he comes with Premier League experience with Liverpool. Lottie, what are your thoughts on Coutinho?
Oh, this rumor again. every transfer window. I'm not his biggest fan, if I'm honest with you. For me, I wouldn't. If we were going to buy him, it's a bit the same situation as Zaha. If we're going to buy him, we would have done it by now. I think it's one of those rumors where the agent has set a rumor out to get him linked with us to set the price tag up. But I'm kind of. I haven't seen him play recently, so I don't know what his talent, how his talent is going at the moment. I don't know how much he's played this year at all, so it's difficult to say. But I don't want him at Arsenal anyway. From what he was great when he was here, but when he went off, he kind of disappeared off the map as the Premier League players do.
Yeah, I mean, he's not played a great deal of games this season with Barcelona. He definitely has undeniable quality as a footballer. You know, that I don't doubt. What I worry about is how long he's not been playing regularly for. You know, I think it's almost going to be like, whilst he does have Premier League experience, you know, playing up to the standard and playing as frequently as he was in his Liverpool days is something he hasn't done for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, look, I think the trade-offs to that would be definitely that he's going to bring experience to the table again. I'm particularly interested in there being a bit more experience amongst the attacking midfielders. I don't want to see Saka and Smith Rowe being made to carry this football team for another season. Like, they will just burn out, like, mentally and physically from having that stress on them.
Yeah, we've already seen that with Saka towards the end of the season. I don't think I want to see that again.
Yeah,
can't see it again.
I think So I'm definitely for bringing someone in with experience and pedigree, someone that's actually won stuff, kind of coming in to kind of mentor, these up and coming attacking players, and giving and like passing on that experience to them. And yeah, look, I mean, obviously, look, I know we've not fared well with trying to sign elder statesman, but I wouldn't compare him to William. I would say, William's a lot further down in his career, in development wise. I think Coutinho could bring something. I think a 17 million fee seems a bit much. I mean, if we were to get him on loan with a purchase option, I wouldn't be against that. Because that way it's not like you're committed to buying him. You get to see how he fares in this league first. But yeah, we shouldn't be breaking the bank.
Do you think he'll demand high wages though? We can't afford another luxury player. We just can't do it.
I think his wages could be an issue, but I think the way that I look at wages is relative to at the start of last season, we've got rid of 8 players, and we are going to continue to get rid of players in this transfer window. So I never look, as crazy as it sounds, I never look individually at one player and think, what are their wages going to do to our structure? Because cumulatively, our wage bill is far better than it was 12 months ago or at the start of last season. So I think you got to make space for good players. I think if he's good enough, I'm not so fussed about what he might or might not do to the wage structure, which maybe he's going to disrupt a bit, but I just think if he's going to bring experience to the table, if he's going to bring that sort of winning mentality to the team, then you can't always put a price on that. But yeah, there's better business to be done. But yeah, Mike's here saying no to any more loans. I want us to actually go out and sign a player rather than loan someone in who goes on and has a good season, then gets recalled back and his transfer fee goes up. Well, this is the thing, Mike. I mean, I think with Barcelona and with Coutinho, I think there is less contention than, say, at Odegaard, where like Real Madrid, they might be like, he's young, he can still come in, there's something he might still bring to the table. Whereas if we loan this guy, it would be like someone has taken him off of our hands, and I don't really think there's a first team route. So you can do loads of things like agree a fee and make a purchase option, either an obligation or an option with a fixed fee. That's what I would be looking to get negotiated. I mean, what do you think, Lottie, about this comment?
I agree, but I disagree. I think for me with Odegaard at the moment, I'd rather have him on loan one more season. He had a few good games and he kind of dropped off, so I want to see what else he offers us. But I still want that to buy option with him. We need to start as it is. The team's winning mentality is 0. We need to start bringing in these players who want to play, who can support players like the Haaland boys, Martinelli, Tierney. They're the ones who are the drive for me at the moment. The rest of them, they're either doing okay or they're simply just dead weight that need to go. And I'm sure you can agree with me on that one, because the last 5 seasons we haven't had Champions League football, which is well deserved. I don't mean to be funny, but we're not good enough. If we all of a sudden went into Champions League next season, we'd be out. We wouldn't even make out the group stages. We wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah, and I think
that's what scares me. And there's a lot of people demanding it, and it's expected of us, but we are not in the position to do that.
Yeah, and
so
I just
agree to disagree on that comment.
Yeah, I think with the loan thing, I mean, obviously in an ideal world, I wanted to see us bringing in our own players, but I see our problem as not being limited to 1 or 2 positions. I personally would pick out 5 positions and say we would do very well to get quality in all of them. that would be a right back, a CDM, a number 10, cover at left back, a centre back, and maybe even another striker. So 5 or 6 positions. I mean, like, to expect us to do that all in one window when, the going rate for
It's going to take at least 3. I don't know what it's going to take this summer, the winter window, and next summer, and then we'll be fine.
I mean, looking at the prices of players these days, I mean, anything sort of south of 30 million is a risk for a reason. It's either someone who's young or not proven, or someone who's kind of in the twilight of their career. I want to see us getting some players in their prime still, I just think for the moment where this football club is, we can't overlook having to be shrewd or use the loan market unless our owner or there's some real change in our mindset where we're going to drop 200 or 300 million in one window, which we're not going to do. So, for me, I just think loans are there to be used for the moment. Yeah, okay, some didn't work out like Sabitzer, but I wouldn't say Odegaard was an entire failure. I think he created more shots for his teammates than Bruno did for United in the time period that he was here. So as far as him doing his job is concerned, I think he didn't do too badly. And I think sometimes as a fan base, we can look at how one outcome affected us and think that would affect all of the ones that are vaguely similar. I mean, I could counter, what I'm saying, what Mike's saying about Sabitzer by saying, look at what Lingard did at West Ham. Look at what Willock did at Newcastle. There have been some good stories surrounding loan transfers this window. And yeah, I think if that's the realistic means that we've got to use to get players, then we might have to consider it for a season or two.
Definitely. If Kroenke's not going to put his hands in his pocket, we're going to have to. We've got no choice.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate thing, to be honest. But yeah, we move on. So yeah, I think in terms of other stories as well, this one has been doing the rounds today quite a lot. It's looking like our interest in Brighton's Ben White is shoring up. Now, I'm seeing mixed reviews as to whether or not there has been contact or any inquiry or official bid. But the story definitely seems to have some sort of legs in it, based on just what I'm seeing. What are your thoughts on
I'd have
Ben
him in a heartbeat. I think he's brilliant. He's been absolutely solid all season for Brighton. We've all seen their defence. It is solid. They just got no attack. But I'd have Ben White in a heartbeat. I think he's brilliant. Yeah,
I mean, I think he's definitely showed some promise, and I watched him a lot for Leeds as well in their promotion run to the Championship. Obviously they wanted to take him back. Brighton were turning down 30-40 million pound bids, I think, from Leeds as well, and his contract was renewed at the beginning of this season. Brighton maintained that was always the plan, to get him minutes, get him Premier League ready, and they kept to their word. They've put him in the team this season in a number of positions. Centre back, I think he's played as right back. I think he's played in midfield as well. He looks good as a player. A few question marks I would raise would be like, we seem quite stacked in the centre back department, even with getting rid of David Luiz. We've still got Holding in there. We've still got Gabriel. We got Saliba coming back from loan. Obviously Mavropanos had a great season at Stuttgart on loan. I think he's looking very good. From the performances I've seen him play at Stuttgart. Chambers can play at centre back. It just begs the question. I do think we need a centre back. I think we need a leader of a centre back. And I just see this guy as another good young defender. We've got good young defenders. I think the sort of leader that we need is from a defense standpoint, is someone that can come in and actually marshal the other defenders, organize the defense, you know, talk and communicate to the players to tell them where they need to be, you know, kind of pass down some wisdom and some experience to them as well. I don't look at this transfer and see that. I don't see Ben White fitting that profile. Does that concern you at all, Lottie? Or?
Thing is, he's only 23, so he's not going to have that experience. I mean, he plays as he's a centre back. He can play defensive midfield, right back, or right midfield. It's all down to, again, the age bracket that we're looking at. If we don't have the experience, how do you expect our players to learn?
Yeah.
I mean, if we got him alongside Rob Holding, for example, and I know Mr. Silver Fox is going to like this, I think he could learn a lot from Rob and then progress from there. But he could also learn a lot from players like Saliba as well.
Mm-hmm.
From with him, my only issue is how long is he going to take to settle down when he comes back, and who do we get rid of if we do bring in Ben White alongside Holding, alongside Saliba? It's not going to be Gabriel, that's for sure.
This is it, you know, and I think that's the thing that concerns me with it. I mean, you know, I think Silver Fox has got his thoughts here. You know, he does think that it's a bit of a hype transfer. I think, look, centre back being last on the list, I would agree based on the personnel that we have there, you know, and it's very easy to look at our defensive record and say, yeah, we haven't got any defensive problems. But because of the profile of defenders we've got, it means our midfield needs to be shaped in a particularly defensive way because of their frailties. So there is an argument that a centre back is more important than we're giving it credit for, you know, because if you've got the right profile of, you know, someone with experience who's a bit more comfortable on the ball, that can bring the ball out from defence, which is clearly the system that Arteta wants to utilise. You know, we don't have that kind of defender. You know, I'd say Mari's probably our closest to being comfortable on the ball, but he's not the most mobile in possession of the ball. You know, he's not. You know, he seems to be able to pick out a pass. You know, but you know, it's interesting. I definitely think there is an argument, you know, that we could maybe do with a centre back. Mike chipping in here, Mavropanos would be the only sensible one to get rid of. But after the season he's had, I'd rather give him a chance. And Mike, I actually agree with that. Yeah, I think, you know, that pretty much sums up my thoughts on. I think I can't wait to see Saliba in an Arsenal shirt. Don't get me wrong, but I think people are very driven to seeing him, and because of the hype that surrounds his name so much, a lot of fans are actually forgetting or haven't seen how good a season Mavropanos has had at Stuttgart. You know, because it has been a breakout season for him. Amondi chipping in here. Looks like I'm not sure if he's referring to you or me or both of us, but yeah,
I think I'm a bit wet for that. I don't tan.
Definitely I've definitely been enjoying the sun. I will say that much. But yeah, no. The next story. Now this one I've only really seen this morning, going around, and if I'm being honest, it's caught me by surprise. It's definitely bit of a left field one for me. You know, obviously, I like to see us always keeping an eye on youth, and looking to bring youth into the squad. What are your thoughts, Lottie?
I've never heard of him, to be fair. I don't really keep an eye on Millwall. I quickly did a YouTube earlier when we were talking beforehand. And he looks good, but I can't really define what his strengths and weaknesses are. Again, he looks about 19, but I've never heard of him.
He's very young. Yeah, I think around the 18 figure.
Again, it's another young player. Do we want to be linked?
Yeah, I think more. If I wouldn't look at that as the answers to the problems. I'd more maybe look at that as maybe Balogun playing more first team football, wanting to replace his presence in the under 23 squad, and putting someone else up and coming in there and seeing what else we can kind of put on the talent wheel to keep it turning. I mean, it'd be something for him to make his way into the first team with the strikers we got at the moment. And I think we've got a big decision to make with Lacazette and Aubameyang, as you mentioned earlier. I mean, really, it's going to be very difficult, for me to give much thought on that, to be honest. Mike pointing out, Moller, the under 23s is talented, and overall,
he's great to watch. I will agree with Mike on that one.
Not for me. It would stop the development of someone like Balogun. And look, this is something else I want to talk about, because I've heard it with a few players. Like, we shouldn't get Odegaard; it will stop the development of ESR and Saka. We shouldn't get this player; it would stop the development of Balogun, for example. Player development isn't just about, like, for me, it's not just about getting into the team and playing. It's also about what happens in training. And like, what happens in training is you train with players that are in your position. Obviously you do some drills together, some in competition or whatever. And everyone, no two strikers are the same, right? So part of that enrichment and that development journey actually involves the standard of players that you're training with, who else you're training with, and if it's got a bit stale at the moment, I mean, I'm all for players training with new people and players that are perceived as better as them than in quality, because that's how you're going to get better, right? They say the only way you're going to get better at chess is by playing a smarter player. Like, this is what people need. At this stage of their development journey, they need to be training with high caliber players. They can't, just be given some divinity, some divine sense of a right to our first team. We've got the team's got to come before any player. And I think I hear it. I hear our fans use it a lot. I think more than other fans. What do you think, Lottie?
Do you know what? I think for me, it's more of a case of challenging, though, like players like Saka, like ESR, to fight for their spot in the first team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a prime example, completely off subject, is Leno. When we had Martinez at the time that season, he had to fight for his spot, and I still stand by my words. We should not have sold him.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
He highlighted everything that's wrong with Leno, and I haven't been impressed since. I think I've said this in the comments to you guys before, but I find, especially this season, he's got very complacent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he knew he would be chosen over Matt Ryan, and that for me, it's not good enough. And I think some of these players, like Leno, like Saka, they need that challenge of other players threatening to take their spot. If you want to play every week, you need to put the work in, and that's why I kind of agree with it. But I don't, with the stopping the development, I'm not 100% sure, because you can get someone that's better than you, but you still can learn from them.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, definitely at this stage of his journey, like 19, 20 years old, very little first team football at this stage, it's as important to be training with top quality players. Your Aubameyangs and your Lacazettes that have been there and done it, that have that experience, that have won things, that know what is needed, to replicate that, to be learning from them as well. it's definitely one I hear a lot, and I just think is a bit overplayed by our fan base. Because in the same breath, the same fans will be saying, "Well, we shouldn't be resting all of our hopes on young players." You know, it's like you can't have
You
your
can't
cake
win.
and eat it. You know, like either you've got to take some of the responsibility from them, and rightly so, to aid their development, or you've got to be prepared to give that all to them without any support, watch them make a mistake or two, and not get on their back for it afterwards. Which, you know, again, I have reservations about us following through with. But yeah, no, I think the next story that we're going to look into is this one. Now, you know, I thought we had heard everything that we needed to about. Turns out I wasn't necessarily. Hello? Ah, perfect. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I lost you. I think your camera's muted.
Yeah, sorry, I can hear you now. Sorry, I literally had a call. I had to just get rid of them.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, like my laptop was plugged in. The wire was low. The battery run down. Sorry, guys. But yeah, no. Back to the story at hand. Anyway. Yeah. So we were looking at the Xhaka fee apparently not being agreed between Roma and Arsenal, and there's still being some work to do on the valuation there. The bid that's been talked about that's been rejected was for 40 million euros. Probably would have been some add-ons there. What are your thoughts, Lottie?
For him personally, no less than 20. As much as I'd like to see him out the door, I would say him a little bit cheaper. I think his time's done here in the Premier League, and he'll be more suited with Roma. Yeah, no, I'm just disappointed that the bid's not gone through. I mean, I'd swap him for a bag of Monster Munch and his Mars bar, you know, just to get him out the door, because he's been so poor. He's just been so poor.
Do you know what?
Like, I would say he's had 2 good half seasons, not even a full good season in the last 5. 2 half good seasons, and that's it.
I definitely agree, right? But do you know what? He's featuring for Switzerland. You know, not only does he feature for Switzerland, he captains them.
He doesn't do that at Arsenal, though. Everyone argues with this with me. He doesn't do it at Arsenal.
No, hear me out. I'm not trying to justify him staying. I'm trying to justify how we can get as high a fee as possible for him. You know, like, he's about to captain Switzerland in yet another major international tournament. We all know he performs better for Switzerland than he does for Arsenal. You know, what I'm trying to say is I don't feel too upset that it's not done yet, because, I mean, Roma are trying to take advantage of our situation with the bids that they're making. Quite frankly, they're embarrassing. You know, they came in with like 12 million plus add-ons, something ridiculous like that.
We bought him for 35, didn't we? Yeah, so that is basically daylight robbery.
Yeah, you know, so I think, look, in one sense, I'm just saying, if sitting through what Switzerland need to do in this major tournament is going to put in a few good performances in there and remind Roma what they need to do to get him, which is meet our valuation, instead of trying to make us down to theirs, I'm all for it. You know, I think this is what big teams do. And, you know, I think the way that we've handled some transfers and the kind of money we've left on the table for some players that we've let go, you know, I think 14 million euros, not even pounds as well, is a joke for Xhaka. No matter how, like, I don't think he's been that bad, you know. So I'm all for getting what we can for him.
No, definitely. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but he's dyed his hair the same colour as mine now. He looks absolutely ridiculous. But
I've seen it. He's done a Foden.
But Foden pulls it off better. Let's be serious. Sorry, but back to the subject. With Xhaka,
I mean, it probably relates to his football as well.
No, definitely. Thing is, what I'd like to see is to bring in someone that is on the next level. Mike, you read my mind, and I think there's a couple out there, but at the moment, I would love to see Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese in Series A. He's just absolutely phenomenal. King, if you haven't heard of him, go and look him up. Go and check out his stats. YouTube him. He is absolutely amazing.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, I've seen him play a lot. It was actually a few seasons ago on Football Manager that got me tuned into him. Me and Gumza discussed him on Friday's show actually as well. So he's someone I like the look of quite a lot, Rodrigo.
His price tag's gone up 4 million as well.
He's got those leadership qualities as well. You know, I think that he can definitely bring to the table. I just think we can do better than Xhaka. But by the same token, it doesn't mean that I think Roma definitely really are trying to take advantage of how much we want to get rid of him. I'm not really into that at all either. Oh dear. I think Mike's got his thoughts on the
pair of them do. The next one down does as well. I don't watch Serie A for no reason. They're my team. Even if the owners have neglected them for Watford at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, owner neglect seems to be something that's quite common in those circles at the moment.
Well, we've been
Um,
self-sustaining
but-
for the last 5 years, so I
oh,
think we're the
don't-
worst.
honestly, like, yeah. But no, the last ones that I wanted to look at, I'm going to go to this one next because I think this ties in with the Xhaka story. You know, obviously Wales faced Xhaka's Switzerland and came away with a 1-1 draw the other day. I thought they both played quite well, if I'm being honest. You know, definitely both did their part for their countries. But I wanted to use this comment to tie in with a number of rumours I've been seeing circulate regarding Ramsey joining the club or rejoining from Juventus. I mean, you know, it ties in with what I was saying with maybe looking at experience to come into those areas. I mean, what would your thoughts be on re-signing Aaron Ramsey? Would that be something that would excite you, Lottie?
My first question would be: is this a step back? We let the man go for free. I still can't believe we did it, but we could have had some more money in the transfer funds if we'd actually sold him properly. I think my only concern with him is that he's injury prone. I mean, this season alone for Juve, he's been out August to November, and then he was out again in February with the same problem. He's always been injury prone. I mean, he's played in all competitions for Juve. He's had 30 games, subbed on for 11 of them, which isn't bad for him. He's had 2 goals and 5 assists. I mean, about 547 minutes between each. So, which is not bad for him. And he's got the experience, as you said, which might be good, but it's the injuries that concern me with him.
Yeah, I think the injuries, you know, I think the wages that he wanted that we couldn't match before he left, the demand's going to be the same. You know, obviously he's in his 30s now. I think, yeah, it's just another one of those that could be good for the dressing room, but might not really translate to what could be good for our performances on the pitch. I definitely think Arteta's fared a million miles better with younger players than he has with seasoned professionals. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Sorry, King. I also think it might be another ally for Arteta in the changing room if Bellerin's moving on.
Yeah, I think so as well. You know, and I think if we're gonna, I think a lot of it, you know, as Mike says here, probably is paper talks, elements of your kind of agents spiking things up as well. Who knows? But I don't think there's much behind it really that we should look into. But yeah, no, the last story that we're going to look at today, a character I quite like, is Nabil Fekir. He's someone that has always been linked to us. Obviously had a deal with Liverpool fall through at the last minute due to a failed medical a few years ago. Definitely has got quality. Has been doing fairly well with Betis, probably less so in his last season. But yeah, he's definitely got talent. I mean, is he being looked at as an Odegaard? Is he being looked at regardless as a second option? Do you think he's someone we should be looking at, Lottie?
I think it's all possible. I mean, he's an attacking midfielder. He can play on the left or the right wing, and having a player that's that flexible is always a plus in my book. I mean, he's a 2018 World Cup winner. Bonus, he's had 33 starts this season, 5 goals, 6 assists. Only one of those was a penalty. So, from what I've seen of him, he's great. I mean, getting in, especially if the Odegaard doesn't come through, I mean, I think he'll be good along Sabitzer. Have I said that right? I probably haven't.
Sabitzer, yeah.
Sabitzer, yeah. But yeah, no, his pass rate's like 86%. Looking at the stats, I mean, he's got decent hold up play, long shots. I quite like him.
Yeah, I definitely, yeah, would agree. You know, that his quality. I think if you're looking at Ramsey, this for the same amount of money, someone who's got a bit more of their best years ahead of them. He's at 27. I think definitely makes more sense. I do share a concern that he has with Ramsey's. Your Ramsey concerns and his injury record isn't the greatest, but as a player, yeah, he's definitely, you know, those qualities that you mentioned, his ability to shoot from outside the box, to pick out
His
passes,
phenomenal.
yeah, his positioning, his late arrivals into the box, picking out teammates. He can also pick up the ball and drive at players, as well as kind of unlock defenses with his passing ability and range. So he's a bit of an all-action kind of advanced playmaker, almost. You know, that someone that can kind of contribute in all those ways that kind of makes him unpredictable. You know, in that sense, you know, if you back off him and give him space, he's going to run at you. If you try and close him down and press him, he's going to either use his feet or pass his way out of being pressed. Can he do it at the pace of the Premier League is another question. You know, I think it's very easy to show these qualities, or it's a lot easier, should I say, to show these qualities in the Spanish league than it is our own. You know, probably is my one concern. But yeah, I think, you know, generally speaking, he's someone I like to see us linked with. I think the comments here are very positive as well. You can see that one from Tony. Mike's also mentioning, yeah, I mean, he was class at Lyon. I agree as well. He's 27, still got a few years ahead of him. You know, I think it'll all come down to the fee. But yeah, also that's a really good shout from Tony as well. This is someone that I might try and feature on the show. I don't know if there are links, but there should be. Rupert Pereira from West Brom. Be another good young option in that position.
Yeah, and he's Premier League proven, which
Yeah.
would be interesting. Thing is, I find that with the La Liga players, they do adapt quicker than the French, like from League One. But it's also a case of him getting used to what's around him. If he did come to Arsenal,
I think what's clear and what I like is that there are players that are looking at, like, sort of in different age brackets. It does seem like they're looking at some experienced players, mainly those attacking mid areas, but also looking to mix it and blend it with youth as well.
definitely. I mean, at the moment, our average age is about 20 years old, so we definitely need some older players in there.
Yeah, it's got drastically younger with who we've let go of, like with David Luiz going. I think, like, you look at like Leno, I think he's 29. Lacazette's just turned 30. Ober's like 32. You know, you've got Xhaka, who's just about to turn 28. You know, so I think after that, I think Rob Holding's 26, Mari's 26. After that, everyone is below that 25. The 25 bracket, which concerns me a bit. You know, I think yeah, the leadership problem is an age-old problem that we need to like look at and address. But yeah, look, guys, it's been good to have you on today, Lottie. Do you want to just kind of let everyone know where they can catch you as well?
You can follow me on my Twitter handle, which is Lottie B_B, I should say. It's got 2 I's in it because someone beat me to it. I'm also on Chatter tonight at 9 o'clock for our England review. and our own rumour mill. So come and join us on Cannon Chat TV.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I definitely would advise everyone to follow Lottie's streams, follow her content. It's super awesome, and yeah, she definitely knows her stuff as well. You can catch me on more of the shows that we're going to be running throughout the transfer window. I'm you excited for the game today as well? Spain and Sweden.
I am going to catch the first half, but I am streaming from 9, so I'm going to miss the second half. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think the game that surprised me most at the moment is the Scotland game this afternoon. That was just unbelievable. I don't know what that goalkeeper was doing off his lines. That's the second goal. Definitely goal of the tournament.
I mean, I mean, it's kind of hard to see. I get what you're saying. Yeah, the keeper was miles off his line when he didn't need to be, and it's this whole modern game sweeper keeper stuff that I keep harping on about. Pep's made that look cool, but it's not always applicable. But yeah, what a goal that was! Insane. But yeah, guys, I'm going to call it a day now. But just like to thank Lottie again for featuring today.
Thank you for having me.
Again it's not a problem. I'm sure I'll have you on some more throughout the summer. Everyone, please hit the like buttons. Smash that, subscribe. Keep up with all of the FTB family's content. And yeah, I'm off to enjoy the Euros now. But yeah, I will catch you guys up tomorrow with all of tomorrow's latest stories as well. See you later,
We are
Lottie.
Arsenal.
Catch you up,
Wembley
people.
bound.
We love Arsenal.
Oh yes.
King, we're still live.